And good morning. Welcome. Focus on Stafford County here on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM, Talk of the Town. Always coming to you from the Mayo Money Management Studio. Our chance to get an update on what's going on in Stafford County, and to help us do that, Stafford County Economic Development Director Kathleen Norman, who reminded me that this will be our last Focus on Stafford County until January. And you said it with a lot of enthusiasm, was the thing. You know, this is the last one.
It's not because I don't want to see you, Steve.
It hurt my feelings, to be quite honest with you, but that's okay.
Sometimes it's trying to come up with what to say each month. There's so much happening, but sometimes it's how much is there to share, too.
Well, we won't be doing no sharing until January now, the end of January. And the next show will be in 2023.
That's right.
Again, we like to remind everyone here on the program that this is the 300th day of 2022. And there's 58 shopping days left before Christmas. So with that said, let's get started today. Okay. All right, Kathleen, this is something that you hear a lot about now, but I like to say, well, around here we heard about it in Stafford County. Focus on Stafford County first, and we're talking about the Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge. This is something that's continuing.
Right. So Network Kansas, which is a statewide organization focused on entrepreneurship, they have had some type of challenge from the beginning. We've participated from the start. It's had different forms. We used to have kind of a competition at the state fair. We then were part of some regional competitions, and now host one in our county. So we're affiliated with the Network Kansas, and so since we have that affiliateship, we're able then to send the winner can automatically advance to the state competition that's held at K-State. And so the Kansas Entrepreneurship Challenge will happen in the spring, which is a statewide competition of who wins at the local level, plus some wild card spots that are available.
I like that, the wild card spots. So it's in everything right now. So tell me about this year's challenge.
Right. So in Stafford County, the key dates are January 4th will be the last date for people to sign up, and the competition is open to any Stafford County resident in grades 7 through 12. And teams can consist of 1 to 4 students, so they need to sign up by January 4th. January 27th, the executive summary is due, and then the local competition will be held February 8th. And so that will be, so essentially each team or business has to prepare an executive summary, which is kind of a short business plan. They will do a formal presentation that's 4 to 6 minutes, and that will be live the day of the competition in front of a panel of judges. And then what's optional at our competition is to make a trade show display that they can use as a visual and have on display during the day. We don't use that in scoring at our event, but it is a key component of the state event.
Right.
And some of it is we haven't, last year was the first year our county competed in a while. And so we had 4 teams, so it's harder to do kind of that trade show component. So if we start having a lot more teams, we might incorporate that moving forward.
The COVID deal again, getting back into this. So who's this open to?
So again, any Stafford County resident that is in grades 7 through 12. So they can be homeschooled, attend one of the public schools. We have 3 school districts. Or if they live in our county but go to school outside the county, they would still be eligible to participate.
And past winners, if you win it when you're a freshman in high school, you can go for it again?
Yes. So that's one thing they encourage is if you compete with a business one year and you start running it and improve on things, you can compete with it again. So that's exciting and, a way kind of incentivizes the students to really move forward. You don't have to truly start the business, but you can do more of a concept. But the teams that do better start the business and then are able to really progress and advance in that.
We've seen some cool things too of these kids actually bringing a business to fruition and making money with it.
Right.
That's so. Do you remember last year's winner?
So last year's winner was Tiger Coffee, which is a school-based business, and that actually is a change now that school-based businesses are not able to compete. So we won't see them back this year, which kind of makes an open playing field for whoever
The
wants to
defending
compete.
champs aren't back, so
Right. But we had a car detailing company. We had a company that was looking at creating like online menus, so kind of QR code for restaurants to like have an online menu versus paper menus. And we had a leather making business. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting one. I think that covers all four. Okay. I was like, I got it. So I mean, we have a variety. You see different at the state competition. There was people into marketing or computers or laser engraving. So the sky's really the limit.
And this entrepreneurship has been a big push from Stafford Eco Devo ever since really its inception. And I know that the Stafford County schools have really embraced that too. So that's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's what we know is that a lot of your new business development happens from people starting businesses, and there's more longevity than too when you have kind of that entrepreneurship aspect. Plus, I think it helps at least the students in this youth competition to see like maybe you don't see the career you want here, but you could start your own business or do something that you want to do and live where you want to live. You don't have to move for opportunity. You can create your own.
Yeah, a few years ago, guys had the flour that came out and was they had a distributor and everything else. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll have more Focus on Stafford County. Kathleen Norman in with us today here on the program.
Hey folks, this is Trey Bergen with Ag 360 Insurance in St. John. We are an independent agency offering several types of insurance, including crop, farm, irrigation, business, personal, and life. We would appreciate an opportunity to earn your business. Feel free to stop by our office at 103 East 4th Avenue in St. John or give us a call at 620-549-3579. You can also check us out online at ag360insurance.com.
SJN Bank of Kansas knows the value of rural Kansas and is committed to all of the communities they serve, personal to business banking and more. They offer mobile banking options too. Download their app at SJN Bank of Kansas and find them online at sjnbank.com. Serving you since 1905 and with 6 locations. SJN Bank of Kansas in St. John, Maxville, Hudson, Burdett, Greensburg, and La Crosse. Member FDIC. The St. John Jubilee Committee reminds you to always shop local first. Small town values and old-time traditions. Stay connected with the Around the Square St. John, Kansas Facebook page about upcoming events throughout the year. The next event coming your way will be the annual Christmas Around the Square celebration. Stay tuned for more details about that event and many more again at the Around the Square St. John, Kansas Facebook page.
Focus on Stafford County today. A lot of great sponsors. You're hearing them here on our program. Stafford County Drug, also Ag 360, SJN Bank. We appreciate them supporting Stafford County and what's going on. Kathleen Norman with us today. We're going to step back here just a little bit back to the Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge because there are some perks for doing well in this thing.
Right. So we have cash prizes for the top 3 at the local competition. And then again, whoever takes first and is able to go to state, they get opportunity for more cash prizes there. Plus there's the wild cards. So at our competition, first place the team will get $750. Second place is $500, and third place is $250.
Pretty good way to get some startup costs, right? Especially if you're going to make this thing work. So, and then the state competition is going to be held in the spring. So,
yep. And then to register, it's all online. There's a portal called Venture Dash that Network Kansas created. So People will go there to join. All the information's on Stafford County or StaffordEcoDevo.com/YEC. And if you do this local competition, you'll use the same platform to apply for the wild card or to go to the state competition.
Okay,
So.
great stuff today. Before we jump into some other things too, that's some part-time help now. That's congratulations. That's always nice.
Yeah, so we have a part-time temporary staff. Katie's working with us to help with some of the admin and coordination stuff around the office. Just a lot going on and needing a little help to make sure everything keeps trugging.
Okay. Stafford County blazing the trail for childcare, and that's such a need. And you guys, what's the latest on childcare in Stafford County right now?
So we're still moving forward with the modular building project in St. John. So progress, I think the last time we updated you, we had just closed on the house that we were then going to demolish. So the house has been torn down. They're starting to do the foundation work. I think it will happen early next week, and the building will hopefully be here by the end of November. There'll still be work to do then once the building itself arrives. So some exterior work, some interior work, getting fire marshal licensing, and then going through KDHE licensing once the providers are identified. So making a lot of progress, but it's still, everything takes time. Sometimes I get frustrated on how slow projects feel like they're moving forward, but then I just have to remind myself that, it will be operational within a year of when we were able to secure the funding. And that actually is a very quick timeline in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, where's this going to be located?
So it's going to be at the corner of 5th and Pearl in St. John. So it's just a block from the school and right around the corner from the library.
Once you get this going, is there plans to the east and the west?
Right. So there will be more that needs to be done. I think at this stage, the committee really we're wanting to see this project to completion. We had plans to move forward. We had proposed plans for a project in Maxville at the same time as this one, and the funding didn't come through for that. Stafford's a little more stable, and so we did have some initial conversations with the business there, and there's talks of another building, new construction building that could have potential. So some of it's probably going to be touching base on those once we are able to kind of finish this first project.
And if people miss that program or listening wherever where child care is at, talk about the structure on how this will operate.
Right. So, and this model first really got going in Edwards County. Kiowa County is doing some stuff. We're following suit. We're communicating together to navigate some of the ins and outs that aren't always straightforward. But the goal is to establish locations that can have in-home providers operate out of. So in this situation, we're bringing in a modular classroom building. Each side will have an independent provider operating out of it. So they will pay rent for the space, but it will be affordable, looking at around like $300 a month.
Wow.
And so then they'll be able to have like up to 10 kids in the spot, or they have like 10 spots, which there's lots of interesting metrics in childcare. So like infants take 2 spots, toddlers take a spot and a half. And so some potentially they could have up to 10. They'll probably have closer to like 8, depending on the age range that they serve. And so that will create 2 new daycares within Stafford County and help try to get towards the need. We know we need we could have 70 to 100 kids in daycare right now if there was spots available, and there's not. So St. John has 2 licensed daycares. Stafford has 3. And so our goal is to help establish more licensed daycares while also trying to support existing daycares as we're able to. Right now, there's a number of great programs out there, though. KDHE is waiving the licensing fee for new daycares through September of 2023. So that startup cost has been reduced. And then Childcare Aware of Kansas is offering a startup stipend as well as providing sustainability grants for existing providers. So that's been really helpful to those either wanting to become providers or who are existing providers.
If people have questions about that, then they get a hold of you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Now, this modular, you mentioned the foundation. Is there a basement on this then?
There's not a basement for this particular thing. We have budgeted for a storm shelter.
Okay.
But this it does not have a basement itself.
Okay, very good. But there's, storm shelter, so childcare continues to move forward. We're going to take another break and more coming up here on Focus on Stafford County on KVGB.
Hey folks, this is Trey Bergen with Ag 360 Insurance in St. John. We are an independent agency offering several types of insurance, including crop, farm, irrigation, business, personal, and life. We would appreciate an opportunity to earn your business. Feel free to stop by our office at 103 East 4th Avenue in St. John, or give us a call at 620-549-3579. You can also check us out online at ag360insurance.com.
SJN Bank of Kansas knows the value of rural Kansas and is committed to all of the communities they serve, personal to business banking and more. They offer mobile banking options too. Download their app at SJN Bank of Kansas and find them online at sjnbank.com. Serving you since 1905 and with 6 locations. SJN Bank of Kansas in St. John, Maxville, Hudson, Burdett, Greensburg, and La Crosse. Member FDIC.
All right, thanks, Dakota. Welcome back. Focus on Stafford County today. Kathleen Norman, Economic Development Director for Stafford County, with us today. Heck, we've hit Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge, talk about the progress of childcare, and another big project that is ongoing, housing right now. So give us the latest, Kathleen.
Yeah, so, right now, kind of the foundations are being laid for the 2 houses in Maxville that will round out our current housing development. So the 3 in St. John are still underway. Drywall and all the finishing work is still in process. But the 2 in Maxville have been started, so that's really exciting. We'll probably be starting to contact people on the wait list to start filling some of the units once we have a little more finalized deadline for when move-in can happen. But good progress. And then we're also still been spending a lot of time behind the scenes working on kind of the next phase of development. So in September, we submitted a moderate income housing grant application to help fund 10 more houses. And I don't know, there's always more work to be done and details to be fleshed out. We kind of have an auxiliary application with that's due tomorrow for a new housing investor tax credit. So lots to do with housing, good positive motion, but we should know in December, so we can come back in January and let you know if we're going to have that next phase right away. Otherwise, we'll have the opportunity to reapply in January for funding again.
Well, if you probably got an end, don't you? I mean, if you get this rolling like this.
We're hoping that we can build on the current momentum, and then the goal is the next is 10 houses, but there's ways in which that can lead to continual development. So our goal would really be to be able to be building, a couple houses every year without always scrambling for the initial funding.
Okay, moderate income, what's that mean again?
So, and they get all technical with numbers. So it is based off of the income. So somewhere from 60 to 150% of what they consider median income. So for a family of 4, making up to like $120,000 would qualify within this program. Current median.
Very generous numbers for.
It is. The median income right now by HUD standards is like $72,000 in our county. So if that's 100%, you're looking at 60% of that up to that 150% to qualify.
Okay, so once these are completed, what happens then?
We would like to sell. Selling would be ideal because that will allow, again, for that continued development. But we also know that there's a need for rental housing, so we can rent them if there's not buyers.
How many total houses do we have now? I'm trying to put you
Yeah.
on the spot, but
So we have a duplex and a house that was renovated that are still in ownership. There was 3 other moderate income houses kind of assisted with moderate income funds in the late 2010s, one of which we built and sold, and 2 that were down payment assistance. And then we'll end up with 10 once the current construction's completed.
and then you look forward to hopefully
Another
starting
10.
to process 10 more.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else on housing?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Well, let's get into the Port Authority and the latest developments there. And you've got a lot of irons in the fire, don't you?
We do. There's been a lot of applications and a lot of trying to figure out where you can get funding from. So still pushing forward on that. There was a large transportation bill passed at the federal level earlier this year. So we're looking at, are any of those programs going to be a potential for funding to close the gap? We have about $8 million kind of secured on it, but it's going to be probably closer to about 12 to build at this stage. And it's just crazy how much costs have escalated.
I was going to say you're chasing
I mean,
a fast rabbit right now.
in the fall of 2020, is going to be about $7 million to build. And at this point, we
My
would have
goodness.
that money, but with aggregate increasing for the rock and everything else, I mean, even just this year, what we've seen jumps in costs between like the houses that we've had built and the final 2 houses, there's been a significant increase just from materials and everything else going up with inflation. So still making good forward progress on that, looking at, are there additional tenants to pull in? But I mean, I think we see a way forward, but nothing's guaranteed still.
Well, give us a review. What's happened so far as in the Port Authority? They're on the south side of St. John.
Yep. So the land has been purchased. That's probably the biggest tangible thing, because the port was awarded a $2.5 million grant from the Department of Commerce through their base grant program. It was building, looking at kind of how do you help build and recover the economy, and then got $2.5 billion in appropriations. So that gave $5 million in the ability to start purchasing land and doing more solidifying some of the engineering. That's kind of what will be coming next. Have initial plans that have 30% approval from BNSF, but it's hard to finalize till you're closer to the construction phase. So still hoping that we'll be able to start construction in 2023 and be operational in 2024.
Working with railroads, how's that?
It hasn't. This project's gone well partially because they see a need and the
Sure.
benefit for them in this area. If they didn't see it as as advantageous for them, then it would probably be more challenging. But at this stage, it's been pretty easy to work with, at least on our end.
And then once we tell me about the vision again. What's it going to look like when you get all this done?
So the biggest thing is so the port itself will have a mile loop infrastructure to help build what are called unit trains. And so unit trains are 100 or more cars. And that's really what the railroads want to run at this stage. If you have smaller trains or trains picking up and dropping off frequently, it ties up the track. So they kind of want larger trains that just move from destination to destination. So have a grain tenant identified. And so that will kind of be like the base, knowing we need that, but then looking at getting additional tenants. Since it's a public infrastructure, the ability to lease land and lease the access to the rail will be significant to bring in aggregate or like liquid fertilizer. Talking to a company about doing logistics and more of the true intermodal where there's warehousing and you build trains with multiple entities filling them. Like the grain company can fill a whole unit train, but there's other companies or things in the area who maybe they can only take up 5 or 20 cars or something. And if you can have someone that coordinates that, these businesses then will take up this and we'll get the unit train that way. That gives better freight rates to them, which they, helps in everything.
It's kind of exciting because the draw on this is vast, really, isn't it?
Right. And there's not really anything quite like it in our area of the state. So could definitely be beneficial regionally, not just locally.
Okay. The Port Authority.
Yes.
Underway right now. So I guess if you've got 8 million, you're chasing 12 right now, right?
Right. So yeah, we're still trying to look for like a $5,000. Well, yeah, somewhere between like 2.5 and 5, we can start the work. It depends. If we can get another tenant, that would increase the amount of debt that could be taken on initially. So there's a number of factors, but also looking at where can you kind of capture that gap.
Okay. Anything else going on at the downtown location there? The workspace?
It hasn't been too well. Right now, our building's getting a new Elasta Amera coating on it. So
Okay.
part of that, owning real estate and
Yeah.
needing to maintain it. So that's a kind of waterproof barrier. It looks like paint. It's on the stucco part of the building, but that will help seal things. It's been a little overdue, but we're able to squeeze it in the budget this year.
Okay, here we go. This is the final show of 2022. Are these ongoing guys, you got plenty of stuff going on. Anything out there that you got another iron you're going to throw in the fire, or some things looking forward to in 2023?
There are definitely irons in the fire. I don't know how many.
Yeah, we just mentioned these. These are just a few of them. But
yeah, when people ask what I do, it comes down to industrial development, housing, and childcare are the big things. There's always a lot of little things. Providing support. I'm helping with administration of Historical Society grant at the Stafford Library. We're looking at working on a project with the Kansas Creative Arts industry, so we'll probably have more of that to share next year. But
here we go. Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Steve.
Okay. Kathleen Norman with us here on Focus on Stafford County. Again, we'll return in 2023 here. Same time, same place. KVGB, Great Bend. Have a good day.